Aloha. And I say that wearing a shirt with a yin yang I got from Oahu back when I lived there. So there's a reason I say aloha. I was in Hawaii for 2 years and I plan on going back. So it really stuck with me. Today is a Wednesday, ruled by Mercury, day the 14th of October. Today is a sacral chakra day, and it's a blue self-existing storm guided by vision. Feels about right. Self-existing storm feels like my life right now. So Svadhisthana chakra, though, if you're going to be doing chakra stuff, sacral, do the mantras, do the mudras, and do the work. Even though it might feel Sisyphean and you're pushing that rock up the hill, doing the work and showing up, maintaining that kind of perseverance in spite of feelings, will pay off. I will be meditating dolphinately myself today. Feel it real hard. So let's go ahead and pull a card or many cards for today, right? Who wants to pop? I appreciate my fiance. She was just pulling a bunch of cards for me. It's like sniffing salts. Doesn't mean it's easy, but we have choices to make. We have decisions to make in terms of, whoa, I just switched, decisions, Two of Wands, right? Today is going to be about a choice. Like, do you want, and you've got to make a move. It's basically no sitting around waiting for it to get better kind of thing. Honestly, it's like, pull the trigger, here it comes. So, Two of Wands. Wands are fire, so if you're a Leo, let's pull back. If you're an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, you're going to naturally resonate with the Wands suit. Two of Wands is about gaining perspective, waiting for the right moment, drafting plans, looking out to the future. Two of Wands, I dare to choose. The Two of Wands represents the desire for powerful discovery, a willingness to risk life and limb to gain an exceptional perspective, scaling new heights, commanding the best vantage point. You need to gain a greater perspective on a particular project, relationship, or life situation in order to inspire some form of possible resolution and subsequent next steps. It may also indicate a higher purpose or cause is calling you into action. You need to find your bearings and plan your move towards it. In the card, a character, identity hidden, is precariously balanced on the pinnacle of an incredibly tall building, which he has just scaled with phenomenal agility and athleticism. He clasps two wands that look set to roar off into the sky. From his towering perch, he can see across a vast distance below him a settlement built in some great circle. The two wands gather power and momentum, asserting a force which wants to be released into the space around them to find their destination. He faces a choice. Will he allow them to lift him off the summit and propel him somewhere unknown, trusting their guidance? Or will he hold on to them and wait until he has proper fix on the direction of he wants them to power him towards? All-seeing eyes, an alien presence, has arrived, and he has not yet realized that this higher intelligence is right behind him. One has to wonder whether this fleet of UFOs are an emissary carrying a great promise, or does it pose a threat? They symbolize the astonishing present potential and revelations displayed in front of us that are neglected because we are so otherwise preoccupied. The possibility of something truly amazing is yet unnoticed. He is obviously on a covert mission, not wishing to be recognized. We can assume he is acting for either self-interest or for a higher cause, where both possibilities involve some risk if he is recognized. And so we revisit that moment of choice, to fly with the force of both wands, ideas that have their own intrinsic energy, or should he hold on and use their energy to plan and execute the next phase of his adventure? The moment of decision, two pathways, to direct with one's own will, or be directed by the will of something else. The Two of Wands suggests wherever you are in life, it would be advisable to gain a powerful perspective. Standing back before the works of inspiration, an incredible idea seizes you and sends you flying. Review your position. Can you see the landscape ahead? The trajectory of this possibility? Or does there need to be much more research before you embark on something new? There is tremendous adventure in taking the time to see and investigate the bigger picture, understanding how the topography of your life and your goals and dreams span across time and space. The possibility is absolutely present for you to reach previously unimaginable heights with your ideas and sense of purpose. So gaining perspective, waiting for the right moment, drafting plans, looking out to the future. Haley, This is a positive kind of polarization of what I've been dealing with you on in our Oahu dreams, right? So we're getting propelled one way or another, and we're either having to decide, do I direct this, right, this energy, or am I just along for the ride and hoping the universe takes me where it needs to go? And neither one is incorrect. They just have different results. If we totally submit, if you're in the ocean and there's a bunch of waves and you totally just do the dead man's float, you're probably going to be okay. Or you could try very frantically to swim to a wave, catch it, and ride it in and get out of the water altogether. They're both options. They both result in very different realities, and they're both acceptable in that sense. They're both okay. So, but today's about making choices. Do you choose to dream? Do you choose to plan? It's a little bit of both, but are you, it's one or the other. Are you releasing kind of into the will of things beyond yourself, which is ultimately your higher will in some abstract way, God, the Tao, universe, or are you trying to control things and get them to where you, quote, want to go, which is also how one manifests and one guides one's life through the ever-present choices that exist moment to moment in the infinite now. We've got the Two of Fire, which is the Two of Wands, essentially. So doubling down on this, we do have a choice, and I just saw the word zero card, choice. So Jesus Christ, can't make this stuff up. I'm getting smacked up the side of by the universe, and I'm trying to let go of a lot of my programming personally. I don't know about y'all, but there's a lot of beliefs I have because culture and family and personal ego have structured these things, and I need to get beyond them while maintaining non-delusion. I don't want to just jump into the fire and hope for the best, but that is kind of what we're being asked to do, jumping into the fire's happening one way or another, right? So this is about power sharing, mentorship, partnerships, equality, teamwork, mutual interests, ambition, and control. The Two of Fire. Key phrase is align yourself with another. That's what I'm trying to do with my partner, Haley. A power sharing situation. Two heads are better than one. A time for teamwork and cooperation. Very TEAMrabbithole oriented, right? A struggle for power. Seeking one who will teach much needed skills. An equal exchange of energy and someone who will help you overcome your obstacles. I just watched a beautiful anime last night. It's on Netflix if you guys want to watch it. It's only like 24 episodes, 20-minute episodes, called Your Lie in April. Profound, beautiful. It's about pianists, concert pianists in middle school and high school. Bizarre love triangles, stage fright, terminal illnesses, love, all that kind of stuff. It's really, really profound. But get ready, especially if you're an emotional, empathic type, it might make you very emotional. It's not just like robots flying in the sky and people fighting with magic or whatever animes tend to be. This is very realistic, but it's about the power of imagination, the power of love, the power of perseverance through adversity, through fear, through struggle, through limiting beliefs. How you need partners to do that, and even if that partner is yourself, your higher self calling you forward, you're partnering up with something, right? The Two of Fire represents partnerships, and I want to say the Two of Wands is the Two of Fire, so it's like we're getting the same energy twice here. The Two of Fire represents partnerships and aligning yourself with another who shares your goals and visions in order to make an idea a reality. Because everything that can be imagined can be realized. It's just a matter of, if you build it, they will come. Are you putting in the work? Are you making it actualized? The most outlandish, quote, dreams, whether it's Beethoven's symphony or people winning a marathon or whatever, tantric sex, whatever the fuck, like these things could happen, but we have to actually step into that place and make it work. We can't just daydream, right? This isn't an error. This is a fire. This is about taking the passion and using that as the fuel with yourself and others. It symbolizes a power sharing situation when two people with mutual interests work together because they have more chance of success in achieving their ambitions than they would if they worked alone. Two heads are better than one. There's a Bible verse where it's like, one strand of rope is pretty strong. Two, that's pretty damn good. Three, nothing can break that, right? So it's like the more the merrier. And this is talking about two. So you and someone else, Haley, right? I'm feeling this. Or me and my podcast or whatever. Like, how are you partnering with things and moving them into your dreams? But how are you dreaming bigger than is practical while not being delusional? Wow, balanced on the biggest wave, as Pink Floyd would say. We can dream bigger, but we have to also feel it's possible to a point in order to feel that we're not deluding ourselves. Maybe this is just double Gemini issues, double talk on this kind of stuff. Do you have a goal or outcome you wish to manifest but cannot accomplish without assistance? Haley, I need my manifestor to manifest some of my things, it seems. When the Two of Fire appears in your reading, it represents an opportunity to work with someone in a collaborative way that may allow you both to make thought a reality. TEAMrabbithole was a hashtag, right? That I just kind of played around with when I made posts. That turned into a meme page. It's got 12,000 people who follow it. That turned into a podcast, which we've had world-renowned astrologers. We're going to have famous people. We've had just normal people. And the point is, it's crazy. Just an idea turned into practicality. And that only really happened through participation with others. People participating with pages and liking it or whatever, listening to the podcast. Raphael stepping in and being like, yo, let's do this. You got a good idea. Whatever. I wasn't going to do a podcast. I was just kind of asking questions out loud, and that turned into a podcast. So when the Two of Fires appears in your reading, it represents an opportunity to work with someone in a collaborative way that may allow you both to make a thought a reality. Whether that person comes to you as a mentor who, by working with you, can teach you much needed skills. This is literally, on multiple levels, the lesson of Your Lie in April. Highly suggest it. Check it out. Netflix. Very short investment of time. It's like a couple movies long, and you'll be better for it. Trust me. They could teach you much needed skills, or a partner who works with you to have the workload, like the yin yang, right? It's the whole unity, but it's split into a diversity in order for it to participate more effectively somehow, it seems. Your shared vision and mutual interest will help you to overcome the obstacles you have found in your path that may be preventing you from moving forward. Now is a time for teamwork. In this situation, 2 heads are better than 1, and 2 pairs of hands will make lighter work. Heard. So we need to dare to choose, follow your dreams, but you got options. You can take, the tedious 1 foot in front of the other path, or you can jump and hope you can surf the wave. They're both available to you, and doing it with others is really emphasized, right? The sun is in Libra. I forgot to talk about this, so let me pull this up. The sun is in Libra. I'm guessing the moon is in Libra, but I'm not even sure. I'm come to think of it. Hence me having to check. Virgo. Okay, so it's not yet in Libra. So the sun is in Libra, the moon is in Virgo, right? Partnerships that are practical. But we can fantasize and dream and plot Mercury and Scorpio. And we have options, scales, 2 of Libra, or the Libra sun. And with the moon in Virgo, it's like practical. 2 heads are better than 1, not just because, there will be more competition potentially and chemistry issues and stuff, but at the same time, it's like you build each other up and you move forward in a very different way than if you're having to motivate yourself by yourself. And you're never by yourself, so don't trip on that shit. But call it, Bubba Gump was better for having Forrest Gump around. I don't know if his name was Gump, but Bubba was better for having Forrest around. They leaned into each other. That's kind of what we're talking about here. They made a choice. Maybe their wands were their guns in that sense, right? So from the Galactic Heritage deck, we are pulling 27, alienness, non-humanoid. Fascinating. And today I've been having a weird mental day where maybe I feel a little alien to even my own life and situation, kind of disassociative. Non-humanoid, alienness, parallel timeline on 66th page, number 27. The energy of this card refers to the sense of alienness that many humans have that keeps them from feeling connected to life on planet Earth. Many feel strange in their own skin, as if they came from somewhere else. You may indeed have a connection to non-human beings in the universe, but because you are human in this life, this card asks you to begin embracing your uniqueness and celebrate it rather than fear it or be ashamed of it. You're a star in the sky. We need you to shine how you are. It's not about being, Arcturus is not, Polaris is not Vega, right? But what we have is an ability to see a plethora of options and celebrate them all. You don't have to be your best self. Don't worry about comparing it to like how much money do I have compared to them, or how beautiful I am compared to them, or how successful am I compared to them. It's not about that. That'll only cause you much distress. You may indeed have a connection to non-human beings in the universe, but because you are human in this life, this card asks you to begin embracing your uniqueness and celebrate it rather than being fearful or being ashamed of it. If you need help, ask some loving non-human beings to assist you during meditation. 2 heads are better than 1. Ask for help. Make decisions, but you might need input from others, realistically speaking. From their heart, wands. If you need help, ask some loving non-human beings to assist you during meditation. Feel their alienness and open your heart to them anyway. You and they are one. This is one of the deck's few archetypal cards and does not necessarily point to a specific species, but rather a state of consciousness that is affecting you now. In terms of our galactic family, it symbolizes a connection to a number of non-humanoid races with whom you have connections. You may already know who they are. If you don't, it's not so important that you do. there are a myriad of non-human species in creation. The main idea is to examine any feelings of alienness you may have, of not belonging or being different. Often this feeling keeps us disconnected from life or gives us excuses not to engage in this reality. It's like, well, I'm just different. I'm not going to engage. I don't feel like part of the team, so I'm just going to sit on the side and mope. Like, that could happen. Is there someone in your life who seems alien or different and you are having trouble embracing him or her? How can you engage yourself more in life on Earth? How can you integrate feelings of being different with being part of a global galactic community? Ultimately, our journey is about integration, and that means embracing all of our parts, even those that seem alien to us, right? So even the part of me that wants to dream big and is limiting it with logic, I need to embrace. And decisions are going to have to be made using other people as an aid or at least a counsel at some level for keeping your heart in check is good. Even if you don't fucking fully agree, even if you feel like I'm from Mars and they're from Venus, oh my gosh, we can't get along, blah, blah, blah. Or, it's like Mr. Miyagi was very different than Daniel-san, but like he asked him for help and they worked together and it had highs and lows and everything, but ultimately they were both better for it, right? It was a partnership. It was a choice. The animal card, Divine Animal Oracle card. Today is the goat, number 19, reliability. And he's on top of a mountaintop. Guess who else is on top of a mountaintop? Dude. It's like a little billy goat. We do have Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter in Capricorn. There's big change happening in our world, Capricorn, and our goals and how we want to operate in those places. 19, the goat, reliability. Like, I reliably show up for these readings. I reliably try to show up for the podcast. I reliably try to wake up on time to talk to Haley and tuck her in and all this kind of stuff. It's not always easy. I'm at a point where I'm kind of like, man, I need a vacation, but I don't want to like get out of rhythm. So it's this choice. It's like, do I take a break? Will that break lead to negligence and drugs and alcohol or, that kind of stuff? I need to be reliable, even when it's not easy. Is your word reliable and can you be counted upon? Make your way successfully step by step, steady as she goes. Nourish yourself. We should climb mountains, not carry mountains. So dream and try to climb the dream, right? But don't like carry it as a burden necessarily. We learn about Tangsgunir and Tongnoster, the goats who pulled the god Thor's chariot, in the stories of the poetic Edda, compiled in the 13th century from earlier traditional sources in the prose Edda written by Snorri Sturluson in the 13th century. Following is but one story of the goats and the thunder god. Thor and Loki were once traveling together for the purpose of troll hunting. They were traveling upon the chariot pulled by Thor's two ferocious goats. We got two goats, right? Two of wands, two of fire. A lot of twos coming out today. Sun and Libra, repping hard. With the moon in Virgo, it's a lot of, mountains and goats on mountains and very earthy kind of elements. The day drew to a close, and the two gods sought shelter at a farmhouse. The peasant family who was there was shocked to see the two gods, but obviously welcomed them to their humble abode. This is on page 77. That's 2 sevens. There's 7 people watching, right? So it's like, wow, a lot of certain resonators. And then, yeah, never mind. Thor's goats were magical and were able to be killed for food. This is some Virgo moon shit. It's like, we can kill the goats and eat them. Even though I'm a vegan, it had a practical reality to it. And Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, would then at dawn the next day would return to the goats living by the blessing of the same hammer. So Thor always had a reliable source of food with him. He told the peasants they could share the meal of the magical goats, but they were not to split the bones in any way, as the bones were needed to be unharmed so the goats could successfully regenerate at first light. The humans agreed to this and enjoyed the meal provided by Thor. 2 of fire, 2 of wands, right? He's like, I'll participate with you guys. And Sun and Libra, it's like, you help me, I'll help you. Give me a place to crash and I'll give you a meal. Just don't fucking eat the bones. Don't break the bones. But Thialfi, the son of the farmer, could not resist secretly cracking one of those leg bones open to suck out some of the delicious marrow, some of the best eating of the goat that could be had. Secretive kind of taboo things. Mercury and Scorpio. He was deceptive and did what he was told not to. Dawn came and Thor laid all the bones and skins so they could reassemble magically into the living goats. However, Thor noticed one of the goats had a lame leg. Thor became very angry, knowing that someone had cracked one of the leg bones when they were given their word not. They'd said they wouldn't. Frightened by the god's hammer, Thialfi admitted his guilt and offered himself and his sister to the god as his servants. More 2 of fire. It's like, not just me, both of us. Oh my gosh, 2 slaves are better than 1, bro. Thor quieted his anger and agreed, and this is how one of Thor's goats became lame but still remained powerful and steady. The animal. While we cannot be sure what kind of goats pulled Thor's chariot, many of the symbols and descriptions are reminiscent of either the endemic mountain goat or the hardy domesticated mountain goat. The mountain goats in the traditional Norselands are magnificent creatures, well-furred, sure-footed, and mightily horned. Goats have been providers of skin, milk, cheese, meat, drinking horns, and building materials, and they were one of the first animals to be domesticated by man. As such, they were and are well loved by humans as domestic animals, and now there are over 200 species of goats. That's quite a few. The magic. Goat magic, and specifically the magic of Thor's mountain goats, is one of reliability and sure-footedness. Goats are remarkably athletic and agile on mountainsides and difficult terrain. They are robust creatures able to withstand the cold or rough environments and are available to all people, rich or poor. Call upon goat energy when you need stability and balance in a precarious situation or when you need nourishment after a period of scarcity. Symbology is the horns of the goat, bones, sure-footedness, thunder, a chariot pulled by goats. Status is of least concern. There's a shit ton of goats. So it's kind of funny to me, so much mountain symbology. Climb every mountain as sure-footed as a goat, right? Like you got to climb your dreams. That's the whole point of climb every mountain. Like do your dreams, but doesn't mean it's going to be lickety split nothing. There's going to be some struggle and pain and sweat and maybe moments of grabbing your breath. But ultimately, you're supposed to climb the mountains of your dreams, ford the streams of your dreams, that kind of thing, as opposed to like settling. And that's a choice. 2 of Wands. Are you going to settle for other forces to take you places? Are you going to hope that the universe works out, which it does, or are you going to take the bull by the horns, the goat by the horns, and make it go where you want, which you can. Either both and. We are adrift in an ocean, but we can sit still or thrash about. Like, that's our choice. Swim or sink. George and Gilbert, some more partnership, right? We got the 2 of Wands. These are 2 artists. Wands is kind of creativity in that sense. And Libra. So we got balance. So George and Gilbert. And they were like 2 heads are better than 1. 2 heads up there, their heads, are better than 1. They decided to be a partnership and make art, happen. Gilbert Proch and George Passmore have waved their banner of Art for All since their collaborative debut in 1967. Collaborations, right, 2 of Fire, with works addressing sex, religion, politics, and social taboos through an aesthetic of sometimes hallucinatory pop. Early works include Living Sculpture, in which George and Gilbert painted themselves metallic and walked London streets. Today they are known for large grid-like paintings and are identified both by their trademark tailored suits and their birthday suits. They're often the nude subjects of their works. Gilbert and George have described their influences as everything from humanity to universal suffering. They're both inspired by things. It's not either or. They choose during an artwork. It's like, is this going to be about universal suffering? Nah, man, this is about Betty and her trip or whatever. Whoa. So duality being represented very fully today, it seems, in the cards. A lot of 2s. It says, your work should not be selfish. That's the advice we're getting from them. So the choices you make, your work essentially in life, shouldn't be so selfish that you're only thinking of yourself. Maybe weigh when you're making these choices how each choice might impact yourself and others, Libra Sun, for practical reasons, Venus and the Moon in Virgo, right? Your work shouldn't be selfish. Include others. Get advice. Have partnerships. Be in a team. No man is an island. No man is a mountain, a goat alone, right? At the same time, you yourself have to be reliable in that partnership, right? And you might feel alien to the people you're partnering up with. Maybe it's not, an exact, the yin yang is equal opposites. Maybe it's not somebody who's exactly like you. Maybe you feel alien to them, or they're alien to you. That can happen. A lot can come from the alchemy of opposition and difference, if you want to put it that way, right? But make sure you're making a choice, because you're being forced to make a choice. It's like, are you going to basically surrender to the will of others and the will of reality and just be like, all right, what happens, whatever may come, may come. Or are you going to be like, you know what? I want to go over there. So I'm going to aim this rocket that way, and I'm going to go over fucking there. There's a big difference. They're both acceptable. You can't say one is better than the other. It's your choice, right? Probably be making these choices with others. Get advice, seek counsel, team up, right? And be reliable when you do team up. Be the strong partner. Don't just slack. Don't be like, yeah, I'm in a team and then never show up. Everybody hates that person in the group projects in school or whatever. It's like, we're all doing the work and that guy's just chewing bubblegum and saying he's part of the group. It's like, you're not even doing your reliable work, right? That's very alienating. It happens, right? But in that case, that person is, your work should not be selfish. He's being lazy in that school analogy where it's like, hey, you guys do all the work and I'll just tag along. It's like, that's selfish. But we should also be making choices that include others' opinions, others' beliefs, but even though we're the ones having to go through reality ourselves. It's a both and. It's a Libra sun. You're an individual in relationship to others. It's not you're just an individual. That is true. And it's not just you're a part of a community and partnerships. That's true too, whether you think so or not, right? So your work should not be selfish. Ultimately, you have an element to add to other people. Hopefully you're doing it reliably. And it might be a very alien element, right? A band is a band, and then when you get David Bowie in front of it, it's very different. Ooh, an alien element, right? So try to contribute reliably and try to do your thing with respect to the fact that you're an alchemical element in an equation and other elements are involved. That's just the best way to be a scientist, it may seem. So we're getting Moldavite. Moldavite, what it is. Moldavite is a glassy, pale to dark green tektite formed by a meteorite impact around 15 million years ago in what is now Germany. So this comes from space. It's trippy as fuck, and it's expensive. Who needs it? Spiritual seekers, extraterrestrials trapped in human bodies. There is even extraterrestrials in the background of this picture. An ET face. Is it happy or not? Trapped in human bodies. It looks like they're pointing out the fact like, look, you're embodied. I'm embodied. Oh my God, we're trapped. So people trapped in human bodies, ayahuasca enthusiasts, Aquarians, right? Super space cadets. Where to put it? In the middle of your forehead during meditation, altars, alien landing sites. When to use it? When you feel too grounded or disconnected from spirit. If you're too practical, if you're making with the moon and Virgo and the moon and Venus in Virgo, we might be playing it way safe and saying, I don't want to dream too big. I'm guilty of this today, right? And when you're feeling too grounded or disconnected from spirit, when you're just like, God doesn't have my back. I'm alone. I'm going to drown in this ocean. It's like, if you drown, that was what you signed up for. But probably not. And guess what? How you surf the waves is your choice, whether you're splashing and smiling or screaming and crying out. But like either way, God's not going to abandon you. Moldavite is all about operating at a higher frequency. This guy's shooting off to a higher frequency with the rockets. He's making a choice. This Billy Goat is on top of the mountain. He's at a higher frequency, right? This alienness may push you into a new way of understanding different and higher frequencies. When you are looking for more wow and whoa in your life, on the meditation cushion and beyond, explode your perceptions with Moldavite. This is transform your life on earth. And that's literally what we see in the image of the Two of Wands. The guy's transforming his life on earth. He's making choices to go to new heights or new directions, right? We need to be reliable and show up. Life is a school. Don't just give up. Sometimes you need a vacation, but don't go on permanent vacation. And don't just work so hard you never take a breath. Partnerships are going to get you through it, right? Lewis and Clark, right? Tom and Jerry, right? Whatever. Dumb and Dumber. It's like Lloyd and Floyd and I forget their names now. Harry and Floyd. So it's like we need people to better ourselves with, but we're having to make those choices and we're having to be reliable on our front, even if we feel alienated, even if we feel different and misunderstood, even if we don't even know if anybody understands what we're doing. We have to dream our dream and take our shot. But when you're taking your shot, just like Kobe Bryant was always accused of being a selfish ball player, your work should not be selfish. You should include others. Michael Jordan and LeBron, who just won the championship, they include other people, right? Their game is not just about taking shots. Transform your life on Earth. Come from space like Moldavite. You can come in hot from space and be transformed in a sense, an alien, and you will probably be better for it. So let's go ahead and play some music. I didn't think I was going to play my electric today, so I didn't even sit up. I didn't even think I was going to go live today. I'm in a headspace. If you could send me vibes, that'd be cool. Send me tips, that'd be cool. No, I'm kidding. Kind of. Hit me up for readings always. But yeah, I'm in just this weird headspace for a few reasons, none of which are avoidable. They're all lessons to be learned. Maybe I've been avoiding these lessons my whole life. Now it's time not to avoid the lessons. Alright, sorry. So, trying to make this all work on multiple fronts. Taka taka taka. So we got the Two of Wands. Choices with the Two of Fire, which is the Two of Wands. We're super clarified in the fact that it's decision time. You know, let your yes be yes and let your no be no, but you're going to have to pick one or the other. And you can't lollygag on it anymore. Try to make practical and beautiful choices with the Moon and Venus and Virgo, but don't be so grounded that you're stuck and not willing to budge. I want to do something. I don't know if that helped at all. I'm just realizing how horribly set up this is right now. I imagine you'll be able to hear it. We'll see. You guys don't normally get, I think you normally see the amp or something. I didn't angle it in such a way that it can be seen. So Two of Wands. choices. Choices are the name of the game today. Oh God, it's still tangled up now. So, in a strange way, there's no wrong choice. It's just a matter of, do you want to use the universe? Do you want to be used by the universe? Both of which are true simultaneously. I guess maybe the better way to put it is like, do you want to submit to the flow of the river, or do you want to try to swim to the side of the shore, specifically to get on a rock and jump back in the river? Right? Two choices. You have options. You should probably look at both options. And maybe even utilize other people, hopefully, reliably, yourself and them participating reliably with each other, even though they might be alien to you, outside of yourself, right? Like a partner is not you, it's them. There's two people doing partnership things, right? Your work should not be selfish, though. So try to make these decisions in awareness of the concert of reality going on, right? Transform your life on Earth with Moldavite. It comes from outer space. This guy's in the atmosphere with aliens up there. It's like, make your choices from a higher position, a better vantage point. Maybe to get to that vantage point, you ask others for their advice. Maybe you partner up with them to get further along. It's like, that's what civilization is. People partnering up to get things accomplished. They have choices and dreams and ambitions, but they do it with others. They're not isolated and alone. Even though, ultimately, we may feel alone. We may feel alien, you know? We may need to kind of just swallow that pill and say, maybe not everything feels awesome, but I'm going to show up reliably, even if it feels weird and alien. Don't be so selfish in your work that you don't consider others, right? Your work should include others. Think of yourself as part of the great work, and it's not just about you. And transform your life on Earth with Moldavite. So have a higher perspective, ultimately. Hopefully that makes sense. Today we've got 2 podcasts. Karina Robert is just coming on. She's a great artist and a very smart chick in terms of just philosophy and stuff, so she's going to be fun. As well as, I think, Paul Goodman, who has been on the podcast, and he's cool. He's from Vienna and into manifesting, and Bashar and Raphael knows him personally. He's a cool guy. So that'll be fun. Hit me up for readings if you want. Helps me feel good because I got a gift, so it, uses that gift. But at the same time, it'll help you, right? So holler for readings if you want, and check out the podcast. Otherwise, try to be, reliable. Virgo moon and Venus. Try to be embodied and impeccable, right? In your dreams, in your decisions to making dreams, include others. You can't dream alone. Even if your dream is a little different than other people, that's okay. Be reliable in showing up to the dream. Don't be selfish in the dream. Ultimately, it's a both and. It's you and others, Sun and Libra. Transform your life on Earth with Moldavite and be amazed at where these things can take you. Have a good Wednesday.